Hi, Misha here, and just under a year ago received this gun, then did an initial review, and then a little bit later a follow-up. And it seemed like the right time to give a year update on the Polish WBP Jack in 545 by 39. And this is the variant that came with the AK74 style front end. And past that, it's pretty much your same Jack, although it does not have the barrel style mounts. It does have the side rail. And for one, it's time to just shoot some 545 again. It's a lot of fun. For another, WBP seems to be in the news recently with some reports of issues that we will talk about. I can say from the initial range trips this came out, didn't experience any, but you know, that can change. That's why I like to do more than one review. Time, guys. There's no substitute for having something for several months, really getting to know it, positives, negatives, learning little quirks. I don't feel like you can give an authentic review of something when you get it in as like a T&E and then you mess with it for a couple of weeks and you send it back. It's better than nothing, I grant you, but well, let's just dive in for the year review on the WBP AK74 type. Put a few more rounds to it and see if we experience any issues as time goes on. How about that? And as always, if you could, please do like, share, and subscribe. I'd like to have support. You can do a super thanks on here, or you can go over to Patreon. With that, let's dust her off now that the weather is finally starting to cool off. And yeah, to see where this whole video goes. I myself right now don't even know. Kind of keeps it fun and exciting. Alright, let's dust the WBP off after a little bit of time. And we'll start off with the factory mounted and the Tele ammo in 545 because it's really the only ammo I can find right now. Forget how gentle recoiling these 74 types are. Man, that is nice. No real surprise that after about a year, still works just fine. And this is the model that has the AK74 gas block with accessory lug, AK74 front sight base with bayonet lug and 24mm threads and muzzle brake. It was suggested when I did the first couple of videos that these may be Bulgarian parts. That's entirely possible. I mean, why make all new forgings, castings, when you can just buy them from Bulgaria? Poland never used this style, as it were. So let's talk about some of the issues reported with this WBP specifically, and WBPs in general, as we get towards the end of 2025. And one is the usual canted block or sight base, or shifting over time. Well, this gun has had several hundreds of rounds through it, if not 1,000 yet, and that's just because of the availability of 545 guys. You know, I want to do my best for you, but you know, ammo. And they seem fine. The front sight, the rear sight seem to line up fine. There's no shifting going on. The handguard hasn't worked loose. Either the gas tube. Yeah, everything seems pretty straight, guys. And it remains quite smooth even today. Alright. Try a little faster. It's just no climb. but also no bolt held back, but at least you do get the extended shelf safety, even if it's still stiff on this thing. Haven't really noticed any fitment issues with parts. The top cover is reasonably tight. Got a little play to it, as most AKs do, but it's actually among the tighter. I've had plenty of arsenals that are looser. I actually like the... It's a type of stainless. It's a treated steel. It's not just bare steel. Stainless or equivalent on the bolt carrier. This is a quite nice paint finish. I should mention that yes, while this barrel's like a 1 in 8 twist, and our measurements really it's like what 7.85 in 1. It is a nitride chrome moly barrel, so it is not chrome lined. Gotta point that out. On the other hand, I really do like the furniture this comes with, whereas like some of the Romanian guns, I'd swap it out. This modern production laminated Polish furniture even has the trapdoor in the stock. Yeah, and you do get the eagle up here and other markings. I will admit it comes with a pretty cheesy sling. It's a Chinese AK SKS sling. Nothing at all to write home about, but at least it does come with a sling. Most guns today don't. And it comes with a Magpul PMag and 545. And that kind of leads us to another concern that a few have expressed, that mag compatibility. When we first tested it, we tried pretty much everything. Bakelites, Polish, 545. And right now today, I've got just a typical Russian Mishaco Plum Mag, so one of their mil-spec 74s. We'll give it a go. Now let's try it with the Russian mag. Again, the shelf is nice, but I have feelings. It definitely does not feel overgassed or anything. It's partly a testament to the 545 projectile and partly the 74 brake. Absolutely no issues locking into the magwell. It goes in smooth and easy. I would show you, but current YouTube doesn't like that, so sorry. But as you saw, it does shoot fine. I will say I also really do like the big paddle release here for the mag. I'd like that on the Briels and others. I have more mixed feelings about this extended shelf safety. It's fine, but I think I would rather maybe have it further forward or not quite as aggressively out. Yeah, I think it sticks out a little far from my taste. I think if it were cut back by about a third, maybe even half to be more like that, I would like it. But, you know, that's just a personal ergonomics choice thing. Trigger's nice on this. Again, not really noticing any gritty parts. It is worth pointing out that this is a bit of a hybrid. It's not a true AK74. It does have some 74 parts, but the receiver is based on an AKM. That's okay. The 74 originally kind of was, but it doesn't have all the changes that some of the Russian and Bulgarians would. The trunnion is also based on an AKM, but rescaled 4545. It is a forged trunnion, though. It's also a hammer-forged bolt carrier group, so that's nice. But if you want to be really, really particular, it is basically an AKM with an AK74 type barrel plugged in. But it does take the 74 mags, so you know, you can decide what that means or doesn't mean to you. And finish her off. Quite smooth on the bolt throw. and all that. And because it is a 545 by 39, it is getting a little warm. So we'll keep on and we'll do an inspection. All right, so we've dusted it off, run some ammo through it, tried a couple of mags. That's about all I can tell you from the outside. But there are some other reports and concerns that relate to the inside. Now, right off the bat, this gun ended the day fully functional, so nothing is broken. But let's look inside and see if we can see some wear or tear, something alarming. Top cover comes off with no fuss, no muss. The recoil spring is not like sticky or back here, so that means nothing is deforming back here. That all seems, fine so far. And no troubles getting our bolt group out. I don't believe any major issues were reported to do with the receiver. This is the original Polish fire control group. It is held in with a retaining plate, which I do like. Trunnion up here seems fine. I mean, it's dirty, but fine. We'll take a closer look, but nothing's immediately jumping out at me there. Really, nor should it, because that's not what we're talking about. It's the bolt group, and like I said, it's dirty. I'm not gonna report otherwise. The tail here looks perfect though, and the tail of the bolt itself seems fine, and the firing pin is moving absolutely freely. Yeah, no issues there. Did notice a little bit of a mark here, a little nick on the carrier. I want to be honest, I can't swear that wasn't there before. It could just be a machining blim, although it is kind of maybe where ejection has dinged it a little bit over time. Again, we'll take a closer look in a minute. Gas piston has the right amount of wiggle wobble play. Nothing gouged or weird in the channel for the cam for the bolt. Seems fine. Already talked about the firing pin. That seems fine. Another issue that's been expressed are bolt lugs shearing off or cracking. Again, obviously the gun is still working, so that hasn't happened. It hasn't jammed up yet. I'm just feeling around, guys. No giant burrs or anything on the cam there. Yeah. First impressions, nothing is jumping out at me as weird. Firing pin tip protrudes. And that's actually impressive. I've had even like my SAR-2 after several hundred rounds get debris from the primer get trapped in there and get a little gritty. It's not. Mostly been shooting Tele ammo, although we have done a few other brands too to it. Alright, I've been feeling it around a little bit more and nothing is jumping out at me. But I've got a really bright light, so I'm going to give this a go. Sorry if I don't succeed. And this is where I realize I do not have 3 hands. Oh well, except do my best. Just trying to hold the light where you can maybe see inside the receiver, but I don't think there's really much to do in there anyway. I haven't heard of issues like trunnions giving up the ghost or anything like that. What are reported definitely seem to be to do with the bolt group. So let's move on to that. And this should actually be a little easier. But here's our dirty but intact bolt. notice anything, but let me know if you do on mine or you've had it happen on yours. And as far as the carrier, again, not really much to be said or seen here anyway, but we're trying to be complete. I'm really impressed with how unmarred the tail is. Here I am. So that's a look at the inside. So there it goes. I'm not sure what else to tell you. We tested it again for mag compatibility, reliability, kind of examined after a reasonable round count, and then looked at the internals. Not sure what more you'd like except an accuracy report, which I would absolutely and sincerely love to give you, but it's me. So after 1 year, yeah, it goes back together just fine. Beginning just needs a good deep cleaning, but it's kind of part of doing a review is stressing the action out a bit. The carrier's not really jumping out of the rails or anything. It really does feel good, including the trigger. And yeah, not much to see here at the top cover either. It's even easier to put on than most, especially considering how reasonably... It's a well-fitted top cover, guys. I don't know how else to put it. This is a good-feeling AK. I'm not saying that if you've had issues that you're lying. I'm sure you're not. However, do consider this. The internet is always going to internet. There's not a single AK out there. Probably the closest that came to it was maybe the Vepr, but they've run the market so briefly. But otherwise, there's not really a single AK platform model design that hasn't had its day of criticism. Obviously, the Wasser, Arsenals, the Zastavas, PAPs, and Z-PAPs, the M92 specifically in that. Yeah, Palmetto State, I've been part of that a little bit. So keep that in mind, that everyone does. I guess I have to always say it. Everyone makes a lemon now and again, and all mechanical things break. Wonder why I'm wearing an earbud? It's because I'm talking with my wife or waiting on calls because she was heading out here to the cabin and noticed one of her tires was going flat or something. So now she's at the Jiffy Lube right now. Just called. That's why I stopped the thing. Her tire's messed up. Doesn't mean her car's bad, but such things happen. I think we need to keep that in mind. Now, if they happen too often, I'm not giving a free pass, but keep in mind WBP is selling more and more guns in America now. There are going to be more and more reports, especially with the way the internet is today. We saw this even with Romanian guns. The SAR 1s and 2s, you didn't hear a lot of reports. But there were far, far fewer of those brought over compared with the Wasser. And then, of course, the internet does internet things. You could even say that with the FB Raid'em Baril. Fewer issues outside of like IO related issues were reported with the Archer than with the Arms of America barils. But that's because Arms of America imported them in the thousands, whereas IO imported in the hundreds. It happens, and it's hard to know because I'm not there, you're not here. I can only share my experiences, and that's just it. Most of us that have guns running, you haven't heard me talk about this gun for the last almost year. There hasn't been a lot to talk about. It's been running fine. You know, haven't been shooting it a lot because of the cost of 5.45. But, you know, throw it in, run a mag through it or even half a mag. Just now and again, if someone's like, I've never shot a 5.45, put it in their hands. It's been good for that. Haven't always filmed it because some of those people don't want to be on camera. I respect that. It seemed like a good time to review this, and I still have nothing to report. The gun seems good, running good, doesn't seem to have any weird wear or tear. You know, sometimes I think the AK community just likes drama. Also, it gets really confusing when it comes to Polish guns because I have seen people firsthand mix up WBP parts with FB Raid'em parts and Pioneer Arms parts. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but Poland's one of those weird cases where we have multiple manufacturers out of one nation, and it's making things very unclear. Keep that in mind too. I guess all I'm saying is, before you just jump to any conclusion, kind of look into it. And also, one or two bad reports do not a bad product make. Time will tell, though. But this is mine. But I'd love to hear about yours in the comments. Let me know. I'd also love to hear about affordable 545 being available in the comments, too. As always, if you could, please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to help us out, check out Patreon, or you can do a super thanks here on YouTube. With that, this is Misha. Catch you very soon next time.